What's up, guys? Ryan from HS Motorsports. Today we're going to show you how to install our suspension fork. This is brand new, just out on the market. We want to show everybody how to install it. This is pretty simple and straightforward, but we want to make sure we have video, that way everyone knows how. So what you're going to need is obviously our suspension fork here, and then in this little bag you'll see we do include an additional spring. This is a stiffer spring than what's installed, so if you do want to stiffen it up for your rider, if they're a little bit heavier, then you can go ahead and install this spring. All you're going to do is just unscrew this top cap right here, pull that old spring out, put the new spring in. That's it. This is your compression right here, so that way you can stiffen it, lock it out, or soften it up. There are 2 jam nuts supplied inside the bag. This is going to give you that proper wheel spacing. You're going to need a 5mm Allen, 6mm, and a 15mm wrench for the front wheel. So let's go over here to the bike and let's show you guys how to install it. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to use our 15 wrench, and we're going to loosen up the axle nuts. This bike we've already messed with a little bit. We put it back to stock to show you, so we didn't have to use the wrench. So once you loosen it up, pull the wheel out. We'll put it over here on the side. Put that down. Now this is why I use a bike stand. So as soon as you pull the fork down, there's little bearings in here, and they're going to drop right out. So what I do is I use a stand, and I turn the bike, so that way this tube right here is going to be pretty much straight. So when you pull the fork, it's going to allow you to pull it, and the bearings are still going to stay in place. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take off this little rubber cover for this top screw. This is a 5mm, and this is how we're going to undo it. First, what you want to do is use a 6mm, and these side screws, you want to loosen them up. You don't have to undo them all the way, but this is going to release pressure off the fork tube. Go ahead, loosen them up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to unscrew this top cap here. Go ahead and take this out. So we'll take the screw and the top cap out, put that on the side. Take the handlebar off with the stem. And then we just kind of let that hang for right now. There's going to be a fork tube spacer. We'll put that on the side. And now if you gently pull the fork out, you'll see mostly everything will stay in place. There we go. So this was for the bottom. We'll kind of note that. This was for the top race for the bearing. So Mike, if you want to get in here, you can see how that bearing sits right in there. And this goes right on top, just like that. So when you look at the suspension fork versus the stock one, we already have the race installed on the new suspension fork, and we already have the star nut. So you don't have to worry about trying to take the old race off. You don't have to install a star nut, and we've already cut the fork tube to exactly the same length, so you don't have to do anything to it. Now the only difference is if you have this style stem bar clamp right here, you don't need anything. But if you have a specific branded or the STACYC riser bars, it has a different style clamp, it's 10mm lower. So you're going to need an additional fork tube spacer that we have. So instead of using one like on this one, you're going to need 2 of these, because the other spacer or the other bar clamp is a little bit shorter. So this is going to be just for the stock STACYC, what most people have. So now we're going to take the suspension fork, simply slide it in and hold the bearings up top. Oh wait, I already forgot. I forgot. This cap went on the bottom. There we go. Okay. Now we'll take a break All right, so now we got the fork back on. We can see that there's no slop. Everything is lined up right here with the bearing race. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the fork tube spacer back on. And remember, if you have this style bar clamp, or sorry, stem, you only need one spacer that comes with it. You don't need anything additional. If you have a bar riser, a branded version like KTM, Gas, Husqvarna, you're gonna have a little different clamp. It's gonna be a little bit smaller, so you're gonna need an additional fork tube spacer. Go ahead and put this stem on. Slide it on just like that. Go ahead and put this top cap and screw back on, so that way it won't come sliding out. This is going to keep everything in place. Use the 5mm wrench. Now you're going to want to slowly tighten this one up, and that's how this is going to snug, because if you have any kind of slop at all, so see right here, we have a lot of slop. So Mike, get right here, and this is going to be for any of the forks. Doesn't matter if it's our suspension or not. So if you have any slop like this, what you do is you tighten this top cap right here, and as soon as you tighten it, it's going to get all that slop picked up. See, now there's no slop. It's a little tight. You can back it off just a little hair. So this way you can kind of get the feeling how you like. There we go. Spinning on its own, no slop. So then what we're going to do is we're going to tighten up these 6mm right here, one on each side. I get them just a little tight, not too much, because once I put the wheel in, that's how I use to align to make sure that the fork, the wheel, and the bars are all straight. So we'll leave that for now. Next is the wheel. So we took the covers off because we normally run the wheel bearings, but we're showing you with the stock wheel and axle what you're going to do. Take off the axle nuts out here on each side. And then you're going to include one jam nut as a spacer per side. Go ahead and put this on. All right. Put on the little washer. So now we have the front wheel spaced properly for the bearings, because if we didn't have these nuts to soak up the difference in the dropouts, then you're going to be pulling the forks in, and then you're not going to have the same suspension travel, and you're going to be binding it up. So I always like to pay attention to the direction, because if we put the wheel on like this, the spokes going forward like that, it's actually not going to be matching the back. So go ahead and flip it around. That's my biggest pet peeve when I put these on. I like them to match. So we're just going to slide. Oops. This worked great 5 seconds ago, I swear. So slide them in the dropouts. With this one, we have the bearings running a little bit loose, but this might happen if you do have a little. Oh, hold that. There you go. Hold it right there, Mike. So then what we'll do is we'll put these in. Perfect fit. Did I? Oh, I see. That was my mistake. Here we go. When I put this axle back in, I didn't have it shimmed out all the way. So we'll go ahead and put this one in. And then we'll put the washers back on. Get this little bad boy that fell. There we go. So now you can see the spacing is proper. We have the washers on the outside. They are hooked in right there. So now just go ahead and take your 15, tighten everything up. Everything's good. And now from here, go ahead and adjust the front wheel with the bars. Go ahead and tighten the top screw right here. And then don't forget your little plug on the top. And then that's it. So now your little ripper is ready to go, and they've got some good suspension on there. And don't forget, if that is too soft, after you do your adjustments right here, you do have another spring, so that way you can stiffen it up. So now you've got multiple levels of suspension travel. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Next up, we're actually going to tackle a front disc brake, and this is what we're going to install next. I'll give you guys a little peek. We do have our front rotor, front hydraulic brakes. This is going to be our next videos. We're going to be putting the suspension and the front disc brakes on there. So if you guys got any questions, need some help, go ahead and let us know in the comments section below. We'll help out you guys whenever we can. Also, any feedback, if you guys want to see any other videos, any other products you want to see, anything like that, go ahead and let us know, and we'll help you guys out where we can. We'll try to make some more content for you. Thanks for tuning in. Please, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This lets us continue what we're doing here at the shop. Obviously, if you do need any help, bikes, parts, accessories, anything like that, you guys know who to go check out. Thanks for checking us out. See you later.